the fall and living in a broken world. Genesis 3. Welcome back to our Genesis series. Last time we explored how God created everything and remains the ultimate authority. Today, we're looking at what went wrong, the story of the fall in Genesis 3. We all know what it's like to live in imperfect systems with flawed leaders. The story of Adam and Eve helps us understand why our world is broken and how we can live faithfully despite the imperfections around us. Genesis 3 tells us how Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony with God in the Garden of Eden. They had just one rule: don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Then the serpent enters the story. He questions God's word. Did God really say you couldn't eat from any tree? Then he contradicts God. You won't die. God just doesn't want you to be like him. Eve sees the fruit looks good, takes it, and shares it with Adam. Immediately, everything changes. They feel shame, hide from God, and blame others. Adam blames Eve, and Eve blames the serpent. God pronounces consequences: pain, struggle, and eventually death. But even here, God shows mercy by providing clothes for them and promising a future victory over evil. This ancient story explains so much about our world today. We live with the consequences of the fall every day, in our personal lives, our relationships, and our governments. No leader or system is perfect because everyone is affected by the fall. Even the best governments and kindest leaders are still flawed humans. This helps us set realistic expectations when we deal with authorities. But notice something important. Even after humans rebelled, God didn't abandon them. He provided for their needs and promised future redemption. This gives us hope when living under difficult circumstances. When you face broken systems or unjust leaders, remember that God still works within imperfect situations. Just as he walked in the garden looking for Adam and Eve, he remains present in your challenging circumstances. The fall also explains why we sometimes contribute to the very problems we complain about. Like Adam and Eve, we too can make choices that worsen situations rather than improve them. Recognizing our own fallenness helps us approach problems with humility rather than self-righteousness. This story also reveals something about temptation patterns that still affect us today. Notice how the serpent first questioned what God said, then contradicted it, then suggested God's motives were selfish. These same tactics are used to undermine truth in our world today. Being aware of these patterns helps us recognize and resist similar temptations. The fall explains why we face struggles with authorities and systems today, but it also reminds us that God continues working even in broken situations. Next time, we'll explore the story of Cain and Abel and learn how to respond when we're treated unfairly. Until then, remember that even in a fallen world, God hasn't abandoned us. He's still working toward restoration and redemption, and invites us to participate in that work despite the brokenness around us.